everybody. We're going to start our webinar for today. So, welcome to our webinar. First, the topic today will be production organization and follow-up in Steel Project PLM. I'm Colin MAYMON. I'm the sales director of the company. The duration will be about 25 minutes, and you've got a box to ask a question if necessary. If you go on our website, you will see these flowcharts with all our features available. We're going to speak today about the production manager module to make production planification and preparation and live production monitoring. So once again, if you go in our website, you will find this chart, and clicking on each icon, you will have an explanation on what it means and what it's made for. Today, we're going to discover how to configure and use a virtual representation of the workshop, both on the manual workstation and CNC machines. Get forecast production time at different levels. Set predefined workflow according to the select parameters. Adjust workflow live according to the machine loads. Collect automatic and manual feedback. Track progresses using color codes in PLM and in 3D models. And track the workshop activity live. Okay, so I'm going to jump right now in Steel Project PLM, our software. Here I am. So first thing I want to show you, I will use a project that I've already imported here, which is called Steel Project USA. In our 2022 version of PLM that we launched like a few months ago, if you click right, and you go on draw, you've got a preview here showing you the model that you've imported from Tekla, if you use Tekla, okay, or from another software using an IFC import. So IFC import or a Tekla XML import, you will be able to see your 3D model directly into PLM and not only in Tekla. That will be useful afterwards to see some feedback of the production, but we'll talk about that later, just to show you that your Tekla is available here. Your Tekla, your model is available here. So in Steel Project PLM, to prepare a production and to follow a layout, we do create a virtual layout. When a technician is coming, is creating together with you your virtual layout, depending on what you've got in your company. So the virtual layout is here. It's one I've created from my mind, but here we can have a shot blast machine, 2 drill and saw, machine for flats, 2 angle lines. Here we've got a Gemini for a plate. Then we've got a robot here and some manual workstation, assembly, quality control, painting, and shipping. So this layout has been created, but you can modify it whenever you want. You've got here a list of available machinery or whatever station you've created. For example, if I take this Excalibur 12, I could slide it there and create a link from the shot blast to the Excalibur and the Excalibur, let's say, to the assembly. Okay, so you can create and change your virtual layout if necessary, creating new workstation and creating new paths. Because then you've got profile group, you create your profile group with angles. If we look at angles, for example, we will see that angles will go first on the shot blast, then on those 2 machines. By default, my track number 1 is this one, but I've got a second track possible. My flats are going there. My big profiles are going first on this machine, then on this one. My small profile first on this one, then on this one. My tubes are going there, and so on. So you create your virtual layout depending on what you want to do. You can also create, let's say, rules, like I've got big profiles and small profiles here. So if you look at the small, they are going there as a first pass, and the big are going there. So depending on the capacity of your machine, you can create some rules like that. Those rules can be defined in the machine itself. So in the workstation or in profile group, sorry. If I create a profile groups called profile bigs, for example, here in the detail, I can decide what is a minimum, what is a maximum. That's the way you define what is a big profile, what is a small profile. So back into Steel Project PLM, if I take my project here and I slide it down, I can filter what I want to produce. So in my case, I could use my big profile and small profile. Okay, I could select that. So when I'm filtering that, I will create what we call the fabrication job. So here I'm using only one project out of all the projects I've got here, but I could, okay, slide 1, 2, 3 project and filter all the profiles of those 3 different projects, because we are multi-project software. No, we are not working with only one project at the same time. If I apply and I go on OK here, the software will open me my virtual layout. Okay, so here I've got a virtual layout, the one we just saw before, and I've got a path. So once again, here we are talking about profile. So my paths for the profile are the shot blast, the drill and saw. So you can see here it's highlighted in green. So all my profile are going there. But if I look at this one, for example, it's going up there. You look at this one, it's going down there, and this one is going up there. And we've got an estimating time per components. Here we are talking about components. It's not a nesting yet, it's components. I can have an estimating time per components. You can see 1 minute of cutting, 11 of drilling, 1 of marking. If I go on this one, we can see that it will go on this machine with 9 minutes of drilling, sorry, 8 minutes of drilling and 1 of cutting. Okay, so you've got an estimating time per components and you can route the production. What does it mean? It means, like, for example, those 4 items are going by default on this machine, but I could select them and slide them there. You will see that when I will slide them, all the other machine will disappear because they are not able to produce beams. So I will take them, slide them there, up there, and put them here. So now 100% of my production is going on this machine. Okay, 100% of those components are going on this machine. So I will slide them again on the previous machine. So you can route the production and have an estimating time of production per components. So I will rename my fabrication job webinar beams, for example. Save. So my fabrication job that I've just created is here. Okay, you've got an icon called fabrication job. So this fabrication job list helps you to plan your production, because you've got a list of fabrication jobs that are ready to be produced and that you can produce. So out of these webinar beams, we're going to make a nesting now. Okay, a linear nesting, a section nesting or a linear nesting for those who are listening from US. I know that you call that linear nesting. So here, I don't lose time on the nesting. We already made some webinars on the linear nesting. You can review them in our website. So I'm going quite quick on this part. I will just make an automatic nesting to follow the webinar on what is the purpose today. So here I've got a nesting. I will save and I will quit. Okay, great. So my webinar beams is here, and if I send it in production now, it will go through the virtual workshop again, the virtual layout. So we're going to see it in a while. The difference now is that I don't have bars, components, sorry, but I've got bars. So I've got bar number 1, bar number 2. Bar number 1, if you look at it, it's taking 17 minutes of production. Bar number 7, 2 hours and 21 minutes. Okay, 2 hours and 5 minutes of drilling, 11 minutes of cutting. So now we've got an estimating time per bar and not anymore per components. But it doesn't mean that I cannot route anymore the production. If you've got a machine which is overloaded, or you've got a machine which is breaking down, you don't have to redo everything. You could take this bar number 4, which is supposed to go on this drill and saw, and move it up there on 1103 DVB. So now we will see that from 90, we have 92% going on this machine. So once again, you've got estimating time per bar plus the possibility to route each bar on every machine you want. And then it will go on the robot and manual workstation. You've got an estimating time per bar, but also per workstation. Means that if I look at my workstation called 1103D DVB, okay, I've got 38 components for 8 hours and 2 minutes. And my drill and saw is 3 components for 53 minutes. So this estimating time can be compared later on with the real time of production. So I will save and I will click on action here. Clicking on action, I will send the production in the workshop on the machine. Doing that, we can see that on my webinar, well, I did call it, I didn't see a wrong name. Webinar, better this way. I can see 2 lines telling me that this fabrication job called webinar bins has been sent 100% in production. You can see in my table, quantity 100%, weight 100%, but not tooled, not assembled, not controlled, not whatever, just sent in production. If I go now at the level of my project in production manager, here, I've got the same color codes telling me, okay, I did send 11.33% in terms of quantity, which is 73% in terms of weight in production. So at the level of my assemblies, I will see the same kind of color for each assembly. Okay, so for example, on this assembly, I will be able to see which component has been sent in production. We'll see that it's the main beam, but not the plate, which has been sent in production. So you can have the same color codes at the level of your components here. Well, okay. Now, feed shape machine, one of the capacity of the feed shape machine, which is a great advantage compared with the other brand, is that feed shape machine can feed back automatically through the post processor called the WinCN, all the production in live. You don't have to do anything. It's coming back into PLM automatically. So you will have some production feeding back into PLM, knowing what has been produced. Otherwise, if you don't have a feed shape machine, you can also feed back manually some production. So I could go here in control, in fabrication manual input. I will select my nesting. Okay, my nesting webinar beams here, and I will see, okay, a list of bars. And now I can declare, okay, all those bars has been produced today. Okay, I will save. I will quit. And we will see that in PLM, we've got a color code, which is another one, which is dark green, that is popping up, showing what has been produced. So we're just going to wait a bit to have the feedback coming in. It takes more or less 1 minute, but we will have, like you can see down there below, dark green color codes. Okay, telling me that, well, a percentage has been tooled, has been produced. Okay, so we're going to wait for being fed back. So you can make the feedback here like that. Or you can make it through the workshop assistant. The workshop assistant is a module that we will put in the workshop, physically in the workshop, in order to feedback manual workstation. So the feedback came back here. Just to finish on that, you can see that 2.67% has been tooled. In terms of weight, 33%. If I go on my assembly, I will have the same, well, advancement here with color codes. If I go on my components, it will work the same. Okay, I think you understood the principle. I will just declare a bar more for my demo because I didn't fed back enough. So I'm going back there. Nesting, webinar beams, and I will declare 1 bar more as produced. Okay, great. So now I was telling you, you can also use the workshop assistant, which is a module available in PLM that you can put physically in the workshop on a PC, on a tablet, wherever. This workshop assistant will help you to feedback manual workstation, okay? So it can be assembly, welding, quality control, whatever. We already made a webinar on this workshop assistant that you can retrieve also in our website. So please go and check it if you want more information. I won't go too much in detail here. I will just explain that I will put my name. I will say, okay, I've got multiple stations here. I will say, okay, I will work on assembly. Okay, I will declare a fabrication job or a project, whatever. The fabrication job is webinar beams. And I will say, okay, let's say that this item, and these two items, okay, has been assembled, let's say. So I will validate. Once again, you can go back to our webinar on this module to see how it works more deeply. And it will come back into PLM with another color codes, which is red. So we're going to wait for it to be done. And these color codes red will correspond to assembly. Then you can see on my table, we've got quality control, painting, shipping. So in PLM, if you've got, once again, feature machine, all the production of the feature machine will be fed back automatically in PLM. You don't have anything to do. Otherwise, if you've got a manual machine or a machine which cannot make automatic feedback, you can feed back, as we saw before, or through the workshop assistant module into PLM. So let's wait for the feedback of the assembly to be done. Let me push it a little bit. Okay. Here it comes. So now I've got some red color codes showing me what has been assembled. Same thing if I go in my phases, if I go in my assembly, I will see those color codes moving there. If I go on my components, I will see exactly the same color codes moving, okay? So you know what's going on, you know which components has been sent in production, sent and produced, and assembled and controlled and whatever, okay? So that's quite interesting. If you click right here, you remember at the beginning of the webinar, I did show you that we can see our model in 3D in PLM. So if I go in my preview here, what I will see is the same model, but with feedback, okay? So without feedback, looks like that. With feedback, looks like that. So you can see in transparent green or light green, what has been sent, but not produced. In dark green, what has been sent and produced, and in red, sent, produced, and assembled. So the same feedback, the same color code you've got in your main screen of PLM, following each component, each item, each assembly, per phases, per assembly, and so on, you will find it here directly in the Tekla model, okay? So that's good for you to follow what has been done. That's also good for you if you want to show to your customer like a picture with a legend. Here we've got the legend sent. If you click on a component, here you will have the property of the component. You've got the legend here. So that could be useful for a customer in order to show him. We can, of course, print some reports. We've got some reports available. Well, here it's a report coming from a plate nesting with estimating time of production here, with the detail here. And the feature machine can also make some reports on the efficiency of the machine. Once again, as I was telling you, all the feature machine can feedback automatically the production, and you can have such report on what's going on the machine. Just for a bit of explanation, that's coming from a real example from a German customer. Well, that is the name of the machine. That is a time. So on 3 days, 20 of January to 2nd of February, You've got the name of the operator, the type of profile, the length, when it began, when it ended, the time in between, and the efficiency of the machine. So per bar, you've got a line explaining all that, okay? So this report is on 3 days. What is interesting is the last page, because on the last page, you've got the report on the time period here. So on this time period of 3 days, we had 104 hours. Okay, the machine was off 24 hours and on 80 hours. Out of these 80 hours, the machine was feeding back something 73 hours, not producing, but feeding back. It can be production, but can be also standby, can be alarms, can be whatever. So was feeding back something 73 hours. And out of the 73 hours, the machine was really producing 57 hours. Okay, so producing means cutting, drilling, punching, scribing, whatever. So the efficiency is 71%, because out of 80 hours it was on, it was producing 57 hours, which is an efficiency of 71%. What is the difference between 73 and 57 here? Is here. So it was 2 hours, 17 minutes in alarm. It was 18 minutes in standby, nearly 3 hours in tool setup, nearly 7 hours in ready to start, but no one pressing the starting button. So here we've got a bottleneck because we lost 7 hours of production because no one was pressing the button. Stop with messages, 1 hour and 30 minutes, and raw material feedback, nearly 3 hours. So here, it's quite good because you can identify the bottleneck. So that is part also of the following and of the feedback of the production we've got in PLM. Sorry, my voice is a bit strange. Last thing I wanted to speak about is the future. In 2023, so next year, we will launch this icon here, this module, which is a start. For us, it's a starting point of the automatic planification. So thanks to this workload sequences, you will be able to pick up some fabrication job here, okay, that you've got with estimating time, and place it in a calendar or in a Gantt graphic. So you will be able to place some fabrication job in a Gantt graphic on the machine. So you will know the workload of every machine. You will know if the machine is full for the next 36 hours, for the next 3 days. So it will help you to route the production the best way possible using this tool. So that is the starting point of our automatic planification. There will be more module and more development done in the future. The starting point for 2023 will be this one. So I just wanted to update you about this. So it's not available yet. You understood? I've got it here activated because we still have a baby here, but it's not done yet. So well, it's 5:25, so it lasts 25 minutes. So I'm just on time. If you've got question, you can type it in the box. So I will wait like for 1 minute to see if you've got question. Otherwise, that will be the end of our webinar. Just to remind you what I was telling before, if you go on our website here, you've got a section called webinar. Okay. If you click on it, you've got promotional webinar, what I'm doing now. You've got partner webinar. So you can, if you go on promotional, you can have webinar about the shipping, about the workshop assistant, about different topics we've made along the year. So please go back and review the webinar you would like to check. Well, I don't see any questions, so I thank you very much for attending the webinar today, and I wish you a good evening for those who are watching us from Europe and from Africa, and a good day for the one watching us from North America. Thank you very much. Goodbye.